Okay, so fast prayer and the mechanics related to their levels of consciousness, and also I'll try and relate it, if I remember, to the Course in Miracles as well, and the underlying mechanics of what's going on. Okay, I'll try and relate it from Course language and Hawkins language. So the Course says all thoughts are meaningless. And I'm guessing the course is alluding to the fall from the holy instant, the holy meaning not in limitation. So the fall from the holy instant, which is infinite, to the finite, involves the accumulation of guilt. It's necessary to undo the guilt or release the guilt, I would say in my languaging, and to release the thoughts which are creating my personal hell and the collective hell. Probably the wrong language to use in a video. Sorry, apologize. My collective projections and the collective projections like war and famine and blah blah blah, which are, I would guess, unpleasant projections, shall we say, in humanity. As Hawkins would say, 97% of the time humanity's been in existence has been in war with millions and millions dead. So I don't know if that's nice. Okay, so the levels of consciousness related to the mechanics of A Course in Miracles, going up the scale. So one could be, it doesn't really matter where you start off with as a dominant shall we say, the dominant guilt, which could be related to shame, guilt, anger, fear, pride, or neutrality, or acceptance, or love, or unconditional love, or conditional love, or the fields of the infinite, the enlightened fields, which have actually levels as well. So what would go is you'd see, so one's level of consciousness is a reflection of the level, from course language, the amount of guilt one is holding due to the severity of the fall from the holy instant or from the enlightened state. Um, I quite like Genesis, but I'm not supposed to talk about the Bible and the fall from the Garden of Eden, but never mind, I'll leave that out. Um, so, um, so it doesn't matter where you start, but you'll start at what would be a level of consciousness for the individual doing it. Um, a rough guide, which I'd say is more complicated than what I'm saying. But let's say one is dominated by fear. For example, I mean, one could be designed, I mean, I was in addiction, so that would be um, motivated by desire, wanting things, and having thoughts and energies of craving and wantingness going on running me, which is a negative attractor field. Anyway, I'm getting diverted. So, what are the mechanics? Maybe, no, should I do fear or should I do desire? Let me just think. Let me do fear because it's less what's the word? Anyway, it brings less contention. I think everyone wants to get rid of fear. So, I'll do this as we're recording. Fear. So let's pretend, let's make it simple. There's complexities to assessing one's level of consciousness, but it's not as simple as I say. But let's say a person seems to be in constant fear, heavy, constant fear, non-stop and their thoughts when you speak to them, or if you just make a video of yourself, just talk about your day and watch the video back because you won't be able to track it by listen to your inner dialogue. You just have to record yourself. Just how was my day today, and then record it on your camera phone as a video, and then listen to yourself as if it was another person. You're witnessing another person, and filter for what seems to be the dominant emotion that's going on and the languaging. Oh my gosh, I was afraid to walk out of the house because I'm going to leave my house and burglars are probably going to jump in as soon as I'm down the road. I'm afraid that I'll have bad thoughts. and and I'll lose my connection to God. Oh my goodness. And I'm afraid I'm going to meet this person. I'm going to say the wrong thing, and they're going to be they're gonna think that they're gonna leave me as a friend. I need them. I need them to be with me. I need them to be there for me forever. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. So you listen to the languaging, and then you probably try and guess the emotion. And let's say if you were a neutral, you know, not you, and you listen to watch the video, you go, this person seems to be in a lot of fear, and the languaging describing the day seems to be every thought seems to be related to fear. So then you might be right. It's a bit more complicated and make an assessment. What could be my dominant um, level of consciousness? If that was true and you were if you were able to, even though the ego would probably filter things and make excuses and do all kinds of things. So it's good to get an independent person or a muscle tester if possible. But anyway, it could be that, oh, I might be calibrating at the level of fear, and therefore the guilt is manifesting dominantly at the moment from A Course in Miracles languaging, or the levels of consciousness I'd be at fear, which is a negative thing, which would also be a negative attractor field. So in my view, and I can be wrong in what I'm saying in this video, um, I'm being dominated by the thoughts and the motives of the fear attractor field. So it'd be like every thought seems to be fearful, and I seem to think, well, these are my thoughts. They're not anybody else's thoughts because I'm so amazing and so me. I'm not picking them up from the field, and all the thoughts, all my motivations. Even though if you ask me, what is your motivation? Like, oh, just to be a nice person. But probably my unconscious motives would be fear-based. I'd have a burglar alarm. I'd have 20 locks. I'd have iron grills in front of my door, and I'd have camera activation. I'd leave the house. And thinking about how can I earn enough money to hire a security guard non-stop on my house. And I'm meeting people. I think, is this person a potential burglar? So I'm just picking up all these thoughts. Oh my God, I'm probably got an illness. I'm going to die. I had a cold. I've got a twitch in my foot. I'm going to die. So it's all kind of fear related. I've got cancer. I've got this. I've got that. Oh my goodness. So, and I'm afraid to meet everyone. I'm afraid to meet new people. So, it's like I probably think these are my thoughts. And if you were to ask me, I'm sure out of my mouth would come, I'm a really nice person. I'm probably going to be the best person you ever meet, blah, blah, blah. That would be what I'd be saying. But if you look at the thoughts and you look at the potential internal motives that are going on in my life, like, what, Sabir, why have you got like 20 locks on your door and three burglar alarms? I mean, is that normal? Sounds like, that. No, no, no. It's totally normal for this area. There's a high burglary rate and stuff going up. So, okay, I'm waffling a lot, but that would be like assessing level of consciousness. So, how does fast prayer? Let me make a move on because I waffled a bit there. So fast prayer, I would just see what are the thoughts. It doesn't really matter what the thoughts are. The thoughts would be all fear-related thoughts. What are the dominant thoughts? What are the key thoughts? What are the recurring thoughts? And what thoughts seem to be orchestrating my behavior a lot? So it's useful to have a spiritual mentor to reflect back to you, as your ego will probably deny it or go into denial or pretend it's not there. So that's why it's useful to have groups or spiritual mentors that can say, look, this is what's really going on. I know you quite well. So, uh, but anyway, if you haven't got that, just track your thoughts and track the big thoughts. And what are the thought systems? Like to delete a level of consciousness and to go up to the next level. I think Hawkins' book, Transcending Levels of Consciousness, what are the attractions and the aversions that are holding me to this thing? Oh, I actually get a payoff for being in fear. I think it's useful for me. I get a payoff from fearful thoughts. I think they're protecting me. Okay, so these are my attractions. What are my aversions? I have huge aversions to strange people, to people walking outside my door. I have an aversion to um, areas I might be living in, to certain types of people and how they look like, if they look dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So all of these are the orchestrating belief systems and that I need to start surrendering. I surrender to God my fear of needing a burglar alarm, and I pray to God for forgiveness, transcendence. I mean, I surrender, dear God, I need 15 locks on, on my door, and I pray to God for, well, what's orchestrating my behavior? I surrender to God my fear that the universe is not safe, and I pray to God for forgiveness, transcendence, miracles. I surrender to God my ego as the source of life and protection. And I pray to God for forgiveness, transcendence, and miracles. I surrender to God my lack of faith in God and God's protection and mercy. I pray to God. So you're just undoing at the level of fear. You need to, each individual will be different with the different programs running them. And the level of guilt, which would be whether one is in fear, addiction would be another major one, is one that I was dominated by. And that's a huge topic in itself. Am I addicted by craving and wanting things and doing things related to craving in whichever area it might be? So then I'd pick up the thoughts and that to transcend that level, I'm picking up the attraction and aversion thoughts at that level of addiction and craving and wantingness and releasing and not doing distractions to let that energy release. I haven't masturbated now, I don't think for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And, it was just going through, feeling out the sexual energy, not masturbating, not looking at the wrong images and feeling it out until it was gone. And then the need for that mood altering event evaporated. So there's a story. Because I seek transcendence, I don't want to be run by um, feelings or repressed feelings or repressed guilt in coarse language, and run by programs I'm unconscious by because I want to return as I had a white light experience. I would love to be back in that infinite light as I perceive it to be much better. Okay, that's time. I'll wrap up in the next second or two. So you just dissolve them at each level. You dissolve the thoughts and whatever the predominant feeling is, you just let the feelings run without distraction. And the mechanics behind it is you're moving up the levels of consciousness. There are other dynamics like the length of prayer and the quality of prayer and the accuracy with which I choose the belief systems to delete and the order and the amount of time I'm allocating to it. And no, I should respect time limits. So I'm going to shoot a lot more videos on this subject, but I'll end it there and I'm going to let me press stop.